My name is Associate Professor Sarah Masters, and I am an academic in the School of Physical and Chemical Sciences, and I teach chemistry. And I teach all levels of chemistry from stage 1, what is an atom, what's in an atom and how do we know, all the way up to advanced structural methods and how we can actually determine molecular structure. Chemistry is the study of atoms and molecules and matter. So we start with atoms, what are atoms and how we know what's in an atom. So looking at those real quantum particles inside the atom. And then building up to make molecules. So we have bonds between our atoms, which then make molecules. And then we can go into the more macromolecular world and looking at matter. Chemistry is what we call the central science, and so it really does connect together all of the science subjects because everything that you deal with comes back down to atoms and what's in them. We have a requirement to get into our main chemistry courses that you have 14 credits of NCEA. Chemistry is taught through a variety of different media. So we have lectures at which we impart the basic fundamental knowledge that you will need to then build on, and you do that in tutorials and problem-solving workshops which are fully supported. We then have laboratory sessions as well, so you can understand that chemistry is a very practical subject and labs are a really important component of that. So we're standing in a lab here today at the University of Canterbury, and this is one of our first year teaching labs, and so this is one of the exact labs that you would be in doing that chemistry from week 1. In terms of support for our students, we have all our fantastic postgraduate students, from honours up to very experienced doctoral students, all helping out within the laboratory environment and with tutoring as well. And then we have a very dynamic academic staff who range in age and experience, but all of whom are incredibly enthusiastic and passionate about teaching chemistry and about bringing that knowledge to the next generation of chemists coming through. In your first year, you would have those lectures that I talked about, you would have the tutes, and then you would be in the lab, and you would be making molecules from day 1. And to start with, it's really about building up the practical skills that you need as a chemist, so all of the fundamental skills. And then as you go into second and third year, you're then developing the independent research skills that you need. So perhaps undertaking small group projects and individual projects. So the laboratories are structured so that you have the theory, which underpins the lab first in your lectures and hopefully in a tutorial, and then you come into the lab and put that theory into practice and learning the practical skills that you've already been told about in the lecture environment. Within the lab environment, and indeed within the lecture environment, we're always looking to bring people from industry in to tell you about what they're doing. So many of our graduate students go out and work in the industrial environment. So we maintain the links with those students so that they can then come back and tell people like you what it is that they're doing, and also their career path to where they've got to, because everybody's career path is different and that diversity is really important, and the different skills that people gain as part of a degree can be used in very different ways out in industry. Yeah, so a degree in chemistry, to be perfectly honest, you can go and do pretty much anything you like, and that's not just because of the chemistry knowledge that you've gained, but because of all the other skills as well. So we find that chemistry graduates are very much in demand because of those critical thinking skills, the oral, the written communication, the leadership, and the working in teams skills that they've developed. So yes, you can go off and become an analytical chemist or work in research and development. You can go into teaching. It's an incredible career path to take, and we always need really good quality chemistry teachers to then supply the next generation of students coming through. But our students often go off and do other things, so they might go into government advisory roles or council advisory roles. They can also go off and do, perhaps if they've done a joint degree with law, then they might go off and work as a patent attorney, for example. That's another option as a career. Complementary science subjects would also be very useful, so As I say, chemistry can span all of the sciences. So if you're interested more in the biological end of chemistry, then biology is the natural partner there. If you're interested more in the physical and materials end of chemistry, then physics would be a really good subject to take. Maths, I hate to say it, it's really important. Mathematical skills are used throughout science, not just chemistry, and so having a really good grounding in maths is important, and I would recommend English as well. Chemistry is a really, really exciting subject because you're constantly finding out new things and discovering new things. Every time you step into the lab, you're making something new that somebody has never made before, and then you're using all of the complementary techniques that we have available here at UC to analyse what it is that you've made and to understand how it could potentially change the world.